Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Autocar India. Quick news, your weekly updates on all the big launches, all the hot scoops, and all the news in the world of automobiles. But before we begin, do remember to hit the subscribe button and the bell icon to stay updated with all our latest uploads. MG has launched a special edition of its Hector SUV. It's called the Anniversary Edition. Let's have a look at what extras it gets. Launched at 13,63,000 rupees for the petrol manual and 14,99,000 rupees for the diesel manual, the Anniversary Edition of the Hector is based on the Super variant, which is a mid-spec trim level. It gets accessories such as wireless mobile charger and an air purifier, both features that are not available even on higher variants. Mechanically and in terms of other features like the 10.4-inch touchscreen and its connectivity features, everything else stays the same. Kawasaki has launched the BS6 version of the Z900 in India. Let's have a look at the prices. The 2020 BS6 Kawasaki Z900 is priced at 7,99,000 rupees, exactly the same as the 2020 BS4 model. The bike gets new LED headlamps along with minor tweaks to the tank extensions and the tail. The bike now also gets riding aids like a 3-level traction control system and 2 power modes. It also gets a new TFT instrument panel that has Bluetooth smartphone interface. Bajaj has hiked the price of the Dominar 250. Here's a quick look at what the prices have gone up by. The Bajaj Dominar 250 was launched earlier this year and prices have now been hiked by 4,090 rupees to 1,64,000 rupees ex-showroom. While the prices have been hiked, there are no changes to the bike itself and the 248.8cc engine still makes 27 horsepower and 23.5 Nm of torque. The Dominar 250 also continues to get dual-channel ABS and a slipper clutch. Triumph has launched the GT variant of its Rocket 3 in India. Here are the details. The Triumph Rocket 3 GT has been launched at 18,40,000 rupees ex-showroom. At this price point, the Rocket 3 GT costs 40,000 rupees more than the Rocket 3R that was launched late last year. The GT, as the name suggests, is the cruiser variant of the Rocket 3, while the R is the street-oriented roadster. Apart from a more relaxed riding position with forward controls, the bike also gets a windscreen, heated grips, and a height-adjustable backrest for pillions. The Rocket 3 GT is powered by a 2500cc 3-cylinder liquid-cooled engine, making 167 horsepower and 221 Nm of torque. Following the popularity of the Dark edition of the Harrier, Tata Motors will soon launch Dark edition versions or variants of its other offerings too. Tata Motors has filed trademarks for Dark edition versions of cars like the Altroz, Tiago, Tigor and Nexon, along with the upcoming Gravitas SUV. Like we've seen on the Harrier that already has a Dark edition available, the other cars will also most likely see a black paint shade, black alloy wheels, blacked out bumper trims and an all-black interior that will probably be leather-clad. Tata has also filed a trademark for a camo edition on all its offerings too, which will also in all likelihood be a variant with cosmetic changes. The Mercedes-Benz GLE Coupe will be launched in India very soon, but unlike last time, it's not going to be offered in the AMG 43 variant. This time around, you get a lot more. Let's have a closer look. The Mercedes GLE Coupe will be launched in India on September 23rd and will be offered in the AMG 53 4MATIC Plus Avatar. The 53 series gets a 3-litre straight-six turbo petrol engine with a 48-volt mild hybrid system that adds up to 22 horsepower and 250 Nm of torque on demand. Overall, the SUV will make 435 horsepower and 520 Nm of torque and it will get from 0 to 100 in just 5.3 seconds onto a limited top speed of 250 km per hour. Apart from the obvious coupe body, the 53 AMG also gets a larger front bumper, 20-inch wheels as standard, the Pan Americana front grille and a quad exhaust setup with a diffuser at the rear. Expect a price tag of about 1,25 lakh rupees. Volkswagen have taken the wraps of the coupe version of the Tiguan SUV. It's called the Tiguan X. Exclusively for the Chinese market for now, the Tiguan X is the first ever coupe version of the popular Tiguan SUV and gets a swooping roofline that flows into the tailgate. In the R-Line spec that is seen here, the Tiguan X gets a set of sportier bumpers with a blacked out front air dam and a silver skid plate. Around the front, the SUV looks identical to the standard Tiguan but moved to the rear, and apart from the coupe body, the SUV also gets a boot spoiler, blacked out elements in the rear bumper and 4 exhaust tips. The Tiguan X is powered by a 2-litre turbo petrol unit that puts out 186 horsepower and 330 Nm in lower variants and 220 horsepower and 380 Nm in the top spec variant. Both versions feature a 7-speed dual-clutch automatic gearbox as standard, and the range-topping version also gets VW's 4Motion all-wheel drive. Audi has officially unveiled the facelift to the Q2. Here's a look at what the changes are. The updated Q2 gets subtle design changes like a lower set front grille with a new design that makes the car appear wider, new air intakes, and 3 slots between the bonnet and the grille on some variants as a nod to the original Audi Quattro. The Q2 also gets matrix LED headlamps on the top spec variant. On the inside, it gets a set of redesigned AC vents, a new gear lever, and a 12.3-inch digital instrument cluster, and an 8.3-inch touchscreen infotainment system. The cabin also gets updated materials and new front seats. In terms of powertrain options, the international markets will get the 1.5-litre turbo petrol, making 150 horsepower and 250 Nm of torque. The Q2 will be launched in India later this month, albeit in the pre-facelift avatar with a 2-litre turbo petrol engine, making 190 horsepower and 320 Nm of torque, mated to a 7-speed dual-clutch automatic and Audi's all-wheel drive Quattro system. And finally, in our eye candy of the week, here is the Maserati MC20. The all-new Maserati MC20 is a brand new flagship supercar from the legendary Italian automaker. The MC20 has a sleek design and is MC12 inspired, with its wide stance and a design language that is devoid of any unnecessary vents, spoilers, or other aero aids. And with its butterfly doors that go up, it looks good standing still too. Under the skin, the MC20 extensively uses carbon fiber and gets a 3-litre twin-turbo V6 that makes 630 horsepower and 730 Nm of torque. The MC20 gets from 0 to 100 in just 2.9 seconds and onto a top speed of 325 km/h. Incidentally, Maserati will be bringing the MC20 to India as a part of its expanding footprint sometime in the near future. And that's all the time we have for you this week. As always, do remember, leave your opinions in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next week.